Hi and welcome to MFL Outdoors, and tonight we're back on the bunnies, but it's going to be long range bunnies tonight because we've got a full moon. It doesn't look like it from the background that you can see there of me now, but it is. I'll put a couple of pictures up for you in a moment. I'm using the 22LR and the Hikmicro Alpex 4K LRF. So let's get out there and see what we can find. Tonight I'm using the CCI Suppressor 45 grain hollow point. The muzzle velocity on that round is about 970 feet per second, but I find it really accurate in my rifle, and it's hard hitting as well at 45 grain. $141. Now we're gonna walk. The rabbits I'm shooting now are all up on the fell bank side. I'm actually standing in the field and shooting up at them. They normally feed on the field, and then when there's any sort of threat they run back up onto this bank side, but obviously little do they know. I'm just having a scan over the fell bank side, and you can see how steep that really is. There's not a lot on there now. There's one or two, and that's about it. And I'm not going to shoot them just to go back up on there, because it's one hell of a climb, I've got to tell you that. I picked everything up that I could on there, but there were still two that I couldn't account for. But I wasn't going to mess around anymore. The problem is it's so steep and there's so much vegetation, it's very hard to see them even with the thermal. Right, well that's quite a few to start with, and this field, as you can see there from the thermal, is pretty empty now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave here, I'm going to make my way along to a second field. There's normally one or two kicking around on there. We'll see what we can get on there, and that's on the way back to the sheds anyhow. So let's get on with it. This lapwing just flew over the top of me head, and it's just landed in the field in front of me. The clarity of this Hikmicro Alpex 4K LRF scope is well, it's fantastic. And tonight I'm using it with the Solaris SRX V2. That's the laser IR. This rabbit I'm shooting with no IR illumination at all. You can see that one I've just shot, and I'm just having a scan around over the other fields. There's not a lot out there. And there's another one I shot before. Okay, stay tuned guys, because coming up next is the video footage I promised you of the Voopeak TC27 trail cam. It was actually out in Storm Ashley, and it held together, so it was pretty good. But there's some good video footage. We've got a few animals, and we've got some night footage, day footage, and some night footage with the floodlight in. So yeah, that's coming up next. The footage here is downloaded directly from the TC27 trail cam, and you can see the clarity of it is really good. Remember, this is a 2.5K camera. Now you can actually download the footage direct from the cloud account that you get, but what I didn't realize was that that's really heavily compressed, so you lose a lot of video quality when you download via that method. This badger doesn't realise what's coming because Storm Ashley hasn't hit yet. Here we have a second badger making its way down towards the fell. They always go underneath that gate right at the back of the picture. These badgers are all from the same set, which is further across the other side of the wood. On the two bottom screens you can see where the two badgers are making a hasty retreat back. I don't blame them. Storm Ashley has just hit, and yeah, they didn't want to be out on the fell with that one. This footage is of a cracking brown hare, but it's actually a cloud file, so it's compressed, as I said before, and unfortunately I'd already deleted the original file off the camera because I thought they were all exactly the same. And this is just some footage using the floodlights rather than the IR light. And lastly, we've got some daytime footage of a parliament of rooks that have come in. They've been hanging around for the last couple of days and setting the camera off quite often. But I don't think you want to sit there watching these all night or day, depending when you're watching the video, of course. Right, well, my final thoughts on the Voopeak TC27 4G trail cam. It was out for just under a week, and it was out during Storm Ashley. There was no problems with it at all. I could always link into it. I could always download footage and control the camera through the 4G network. I never had an issue with that at all, actually, which was amazing. Yeah, it's been really good. It's a 2.5 camera. I wish they'd make a 4K camera. Now that would be good. And the other thing to remember is that the video footage that gets automatically downloaded to the cloud is very compressed, so you lose a lot of quality. If you're watching it on a mobile phone or something like that, then yeah, it's fine. But if you try to expand that picture, then it becomes pixelated. The video footage on the actual memory card that's in the camera, that's no problem at all. That's not compressed. My final view on it is it's never let me down. Not for the week anyhow. It was in some really rough weather. The trees were swaying from side to side and there was a lot of rain. I cannot fault anything, I don't think. No, it's worked flawlessly. Granted, that's just for a week, but it's been a week out in some of the harshest weather we've had so far. So if you're interested in that sort of camera, if it's something you're looking at, then pop across to their website. There'll be a link in the description. And now it's back to the bunny night. That's 18 rabbit shot, I think, but I've only managed to pick up 16, so that was a bit disappointing. But I just couldn't find them in that heather, and the terrain was so bad. It's quite a steep bankside, as I think you probably saw from the thermal image. So yeah, not bad anyhow, especially the way the night was. I mean, it's just like daylight out there, as you saw from the photographs that I showed you. Anyhow, I'm going to get these back to the shed, and then I'm going to make my way home. So I'm going to leave this one here, and as usual guys, thanks very much for watching. Take care, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.